We asked you about Trace last game, but just like what new dimension and having a center like him, what does that bring to your team?
Yeah, Trace is fantastic. I mean, he's controlling the glass. He's 15 rebounds tonight, and he's a lob threat. You saw a couple plays there where he dove to the rim and guys found him, and even when he doesn't get the ball on those plays, he's pulling the defense in, opening up other people. So he's really giving us a different look at that spot, and he complements Loon and Dario really well.
Over the past, really since you've been here, you've never been a team centered around a center, really plays a lot through a center. Can you think of anyone that you've had on your rosters that might have looked like Trace, or is he just really just something new for you?
I think people forget we used to have 5 centers on our team. For a few years, everyone wondered why we had so many centers, and now they all ask why we don't have any. But, my first couple of years, we had Andrew Bogut, and we ran a lot of our offense through him at the top of the key, and he was the master of, dribble handoffs and diving to the rim. That's pretty high praise. He's got a long way to go, Trace does, to become Andrew Bogut, but it's a similar threat. Trace is also a very good passer, like Bogues was, but just being able to run those dribble handoffs and dives, and that's the guy that I think of.
I think all 3 of your guards threw him a lob tonight. What does it do for them? When you have a lob threat like that.
Yeah, it just creates another possible play, and when they're coming downhill and he's behind the play, then that becomes an option. It also pulls the defense in from the weak side, and so now the pass out to the perimeter is usually more open as well.
Saw you had a nice hug and long talk with Jordan after, and you're saying you were happy to see him. Yeah. Was it even a little emotional, going through it, seeing the video and seeing him play against you, and then obviously the moment afterwards?
It was wonderful. The video and the ovation Jordan got was, to me, the highlight of the game. So well-deserved for what he did for our organization and for our fans and players and coaches, just the work that he put in, and obviously becoming a key member of a championship team. Jordan deserved that ovation. It was wonderful to see.
Chris was plus 26, I think. Just seemed like every time he went in, you picked up the lead. Was this kind of the game for him? Unorganized game maybe. Things were a little loose, and then did you just see CP3 just kind of take over?
Yeah, they play at the fastest pace in the league, and that was the message before the game was, don't get caught up in a track meet. We need to make them guard and get great shots, not just decent ones. And the first 5 minutes, we took a bunch of ill-advised shots, and they raced out to a lead. So Chris came in immediately, and the game settled down. But that's what he does. That's who he is. He's one of the great point guards of all time. And seems like every game you look at the stat sheet, he's got 8 or 10 assists and 1 turnover, and he's plus whatever 27 tonight. So Chris is he's a genius point guard, and we're lucky to have him.
Stefan and a couple others got some extended rest at the end. How important is that given the load that they had over the last few?
Yeah, and playing tomorrow at 5:30, we were really hoping not to have to put Steph back in. And he heard me at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I said to the other coaches, it'd be great to not have to put Steph back in. And he kind of poked in the huddle and said, "No, I want to play." And that's who Steph is. He always wants to be out there, but it was good. Nobody played more than 29 minutes, and we need our legs for tomorrow. Portland's coming in. They're the team a little bit like Washington in terms of pace, but more talented and obviously capable of coming in here and beating us. So we got to be ready for tomorrow.
I think that's 8 straight double-digit games from Kuminga. What are you seeing from him from a consistency standpoint right now?
The plays that Jonathan is making that are really make me smile are the extra passes. He had another one tonight where he hit Klay for a 3. He wasn't seeing those plays over the last couple of years, and now he's really starting to feel and see the extra pass, especially when it's to Steph or Klay. You're playing with maybe the two greatest shooters of all time. Like, get them to the ball quickly when the ball is swung, because the defense can't recover fast enough. So he's starting to see those plays, and then he's also recognizing when to attack and how to get to the rim. So JK's been fantastic. I think this is the best stretch of basketball he's ever played.
Steve, you guys have won 4 in a row now. And what do you think of your defense during this period, and what do you think it needs to do to get to the next step, next level, I guess?
Well, we gave up a lot of little stuff in the first half. We were late on box outs, late on switches, and that led to fouls. And so they shot 18 free throws in the first half. And we cleaned up a lot of that in the second half, and that's why they didn't go to the line much. So that's the big thing, is just being the aggressor, seeing plays before they happen, seeing the box out, seeing the switch, getting there early. And when we do that, we're a very good defensive team.
You mentioned yesterday about the need to, so if you want to increase the pace, you've got to pick up better defense. As the schedule gets tougher, and it will very soon, is that something you still want to see from your guys?
Yeah, I mean, if we can turn defense into offense, that's the best offense, right? You get out, get a stop and get out in transition, and then the defense can't set up, and we've got obviously a lot of really talented players who now have space to make a play. So that's what we're looking for.
Steve, what would be your advice to someone like Jordan who's just trying to figure out, how to lead a young team like this right now?
I don't feel like that's my place, to say publicly what I think he needs to do. Jordan's a great young guy. We had a great relationship while he was here, and I figured out how to coach him. It took a couple of years, but I sort of learned how to coach Jordan, and I think we really connected, and he's just in a different role now. Playing for a young team that's rebuilding, it's a totally different experience, but he's got good people around him and good coaches, and they'll help him find the way.
You started Looney both halves, and that's the only minutes he played. Is that important to you, just to have him be at the start of the game and maybe plot the rest of the minutes, however they're going to go?
Yeah, we need Loon. We're going to need him, and there will be games where he plays a lot more than he played tonight or last game. But right now we're in a good groove with Trace playing and Dario coming off the bench, and so we like the rotation, but. There's a game coming soon where Loon's going to be out there a lot more, and so I want him to keep his rhythm and his conditioning, and everything always shifts in this league. Things change quickly, and Loon will find his way back into the groove and definitely be playing more minutes. But right now, I mean, Trace is really playing well, and so we'll keep giving him minutes. Thank you.